I've made over $20 million selling products online, and today I'm going to share the raw truth on exactly how I did it. Now, this industry changes super fast, so by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what I'm doing right now so that you can copy it and just use it to build your own successful business. I'm also building a new e-commerce brand from scratch right now, and it did 58,000 last month. The Amazon so far in the last 29 days has been about 35 grand. And on Shopify, it's also done about $15,000 in the last 30 days, and it crushes on TikTok Shop as well. Now, just to be transparent, all I'm doing is having influencers with a following promote it, and we run some ads. It's not that complicated, and there's only one product being sold right now. Now, the first product that a 16-year-old Hayden tried to sell was a woman's push-up bra. I know, ridiculous. Not surprisingly, I spent a few $1,000s on ads and only made 3 sales. It was horribly unprofitable. Now, after that horrible flop and a couple more like it, the first product that I actually sold while still being a teenager that actually made me money was this LED dog collar. And at the time, it was more of like a safety thing. We're marketing like, hey, if you're walking your dog late at night, they got to be visible, especially in case they get away. And it did pretty well. And all I did for this was 2 things. I had people with a big Instagram page promote the product, and then I ran Facebook ads as well. Like a horrible image that was slightly blurry, but it was profitable. And that's where, staying in my parents' basement, looking out the one window at a pile of dirt, I was able to go from making basically no money to well over $10,000 a month, which was a huge step for me. It was also a big confidence builder. And so now that there was proof of concept, money was being made every single day, pretty consistently, and I had just dropped out of high school. I did nothing except work. I just locked in and tried to grow this. And I did effectively. I did end up moving to California while I was still 17 to help grow this business and get around the right people and just be in a place that I was inspired. But I'll pull up this number for you and show you guys. At 18, this is actually from when I was 17 to 18, my taxable income after every deduction possible was $542,879 in profit. Here's my tax return to prove it. And I say that to illustrate a point because I legitimately had no life during that period. I was just focused on one thing and replicating that. Now, because this business was drop shipping, which means I had no inventory, I didn't really need to put new money back in. So the money that I was making in the business, I could take out. Yeah, I tested some new products, a couple new stores, some stuff worked, some didn't, but that was a small piece of the money. And so by the time I was 18, I had about $200,000 in cash. Now, I had no social life, no friends, like literally did nothing. I worked the whole time, all day, every day. By 19, I had about $600,000 in cash with a few $100,000 worth of cars that were owned outright. So I was worth maybe $1 million, but the business was pumping over $100,000 a month in profit every single month. And all I was doing at this time was the e-commerce stores and specifically running Facebook ads to them over on Shopify. That was it. I got really good at just doing that. I even had one month where I made $970,000 in sales with one store selling one product. That was the compression ankle brace that I was selling for multiple years. It did really well on Facebook ads. And so at this time, I realized, hey, I'm pretty darn good at this. Let's grow it. And so instead of scaling just vertically, where I was, growing one store, I started trying to scale horizontally. Let's build multiple stores. Long story short, I moved into a house with a couple of the boys. We hired some people and eventually had some of those guys living in the house. It was just basically all the boys in a $2 million mansion with a 10-car garage that was overflowing because we loved cars and bikes. It was a lot of fun, but all we did was work. And it was a blast. Now, during that time, we ended up building over 20 different e-commerce stores. There'd be people finding products, building the websites, launching ads. And then I would step in as soon as they get it working and I would scale the piss out of it because that's what I was good at. Here are some of the things that I was selling. Just a couple examples. That ankle brace, like I mentioned, we're also upselling a compression knee brace. That one did about 11 million over 3 years. Custom name necklace, 1.4 million, just running paid ads. 2 million on a dog water bottle, a dual arc electric lighter. This one sold over $500,000, $40,000 a month with like a stealth iPhone case, basically a privacy screen protector, but it was a whole case. A 3D floating wall clock, $5,000 a day. And that was all with Facebook ads. And there was so many more that we had. I also was taking percentages of some of my students' stores, right? They would get it working. They don't really know how to scale or build systems. I'd be like, okay, give me 30 or 40%. I'll just run it for you. You do nothing, go start the next one and we'll scale it. And so I'd take a pretty good sized percentage and run it. And so I did that over and over and over again. Some of those were, almost doing millions a month. And so this was my biggest year. Around the 20-year-old mark, I did about $7 million in sales. Felt on top of the world, nothing could go wrong until partnership flops, money gets stolen, IP from the business gets stolen, and everything starts to crumble. Basically, it got out of control too quickly, right? No restrictions in place, no verifying what's going on, too many new products on too many different stores, on too many ad accounts getting launched, and I couldn't oversee it, which is my fault. And this is where I learned a big lesson. I cut the bleeding, stopped everything, was able to kind of reorganize it and be back up and running pretty smoothly within a matter of months. So that was kind of a wake-up call where I realized, wait, the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. Now, what about the man who's trying to chase like 26 different rabbits, right? Now, albeit in the same industry, right? So it's still the same skill and the same thing, but it split my focus pretty aggressively. And for the next many years, I just rinsed and repeated this playbook. I actually moved down to Puerto Rico in this time. I was still running the coaching business where we were helping people start and scale their e-commerce stores. And it was going well. Had percentages of some stuff, was running ads. We did millions of dollars in sales. And even during that time, some more big names in the e-commerce space popped up that came out of my coaching group. A lot of the people that have coached in this space and are big on YouTube came from us, which is super cool. And now that brings us to today. I'm 24 years old. Things have never been going better. I'm very grateful for the position I'm in, but what I'm doing right now is most certainly not what I was doing back then. In fact, I'm not drop shipping at all currently and haven't for a long time. And it's not that it doesn't work. It's not viable. Like, it's not inherently wrong. It's just a different goal now. When you don't have money, which young Hayden had none, you're willing to trade anything, an unlimited amount of time and work in order to get it, right? And I did. But at some point, you get enough money. And then you realize you want to flip around the opportunity. I kept doing the hard part over and over and over again. I'd find a product, I would launch it, I'd get ads, I'd get it profitable, figure out the metrics, build the business, and some competitor would come along, or an ad account would get shut down, or the product price would be changed by the supplier, right? I didn't have control. And so that caused a lot of stores to be really big and then also die. And so none of those businesses were really sellable. They made good cash flow, but there was no brand equity. And so again, at some point you get to a place where you have enough skills and capital where you want to flip that around. You want to do the hard work once to start up and enjoy the fruits of your labor forever. That's where I'm at right now. Now, we are still running ads on Facebook, Meta, still doing a lot of image ads. Ironically, those recently started working again. But here's 3 things that I'm doing right now in my brand, the newest brand that I've brought to $60,000 a month in the last 9 months that has so much strength behind it. And we're getting ready to drop a new product. So here's 3 things that are working. Number 1, start with organic content. Post on TikTok. It's a lot of work, sure, but if you don't have money, that is the way to prove your concept, to see if you can get your product to make sales. Number 2, take all of those videos that worked organically. If you got 50,000 views on a TikTok for your product, 9 times out of 10, it's going to work over with Meta ads. Almost always. So if you can prove your concept organically, that is also the best proof of concept to then go run ads, which is where you scale the piss out of your business. Now, number 3 is to scale with influencers. And this is more of a branding play. Like I mentioned earlier, I made some of my early money with Instagram pages, but there's no brand. Those were like meme pages. There wasn't like a person attached. Well, now we go to influencers and we have them promote our product, right? This is how you build brand equity. You're tapping into the highest quality customer you could possibly get because there's a person whose audience loves them and they're genuinely recommending your product. Like, what do you think happens if Joe Rogan promotes a product? They don't just make sales. They got reputation, right? There's a brand there. So it's a great marketing tool. We're currently averaging about 13 to 15x on every dollar we spend with influencers. It's a lot of work to do it, but it's super profitable and it's building the brand. Now, if you want to start drop shipping, you can do the same thing. Post organically, any winning videos, take them over to Facebook ads. And then for a brand, someone that has a little bit more protection, then you can do the same playbook, but also include Amazon. This is also a great sales channel. I don't like Amazon when I'm drop shipping because my product is usually super competitive and like people only shop based on price. But let's say you create your own product, it's a hair serum or a supplement or whatever. People want that one, right? Your own clothing brand, they want yours. They're not trying to shop for something similar. You know what I mean? Now, I think it's important to say this here at the end of the video. I've been in e-commerce for 8 years. Yes, we've done well over $20 million in sales. I don't even know the exact number. That number is significantly larger for all the people that we've directly helped. And I will tell you this, I've never seen so much opportunity in the e-commerce space, ever. Usually it's one platform's working while the others take a slump for a few years. Right now, everything is firing on all cylinders. I've never seen an opportunity like it to either build a dropshipping store or a real brand. There's way too much opportunity right now. So my time, my attention, and everybody I'm hiring is focused on this stuff right now. And I promise you, these are going to be the craziest couple of years that I've ever seen, 100%. So if you want a free training on exactly what I'm doing right now, check out the free training link down below. There's a video that just explains what I'm doing with every new thing I'm touching, how we're structuring it to get results and make a ton of money with $0 in ad spend. Because again, times are changing. So if you want some more information, check that out. I'll leave some other resources down below and I will see you in next week's video. Cheers.